Welcome to video number 2 of a 3-part video series, How to Speak Naturally on Camera. We're going to be focusing this video on fun story drills, and they are basically within steps 3 and steps 4. This is a 5-step process, and I'd like to recap all of the steps. In the last video we went over steps 1 and 2. Step 1 is called image chain. Step 2 is called focused speak. 3 is story time. 4, story stretch. And 5 is review. Let's see. We looked at, in the last video, image chain, and basically well, actually, first let me talk about some of the things that came up in the last video. And I'm sort of doing a review process right now, and I'm immediately reminded, as my energy level kind of started a little bit low at the beginning of this video, just 30 seconds ago or a minute ago, I was just immediately reminded of how I need to ramp up my energy levels. And simply by doing this, speaking up just a little bit, engaging a little more in terms of using hand expressions and maybe a little more smiling, just kind of being a little more physically engaging. I think it comes across, and it's important. I heard someone say that the video camera will take away 10 to 15 to 20% of your energy, and so you need to, that's just kind of how it is. And so when you are making a video, you kind of have to exaggerate your energy level or your personality. You have to exaggerate it a little bit, and when that happens, upon playback, it'll seem not low energy, but just right. And so when you're in the process of recording the video like I am right now, I have to sort of actually exaggerate a little bit. So that's kind of interesting how that works. Now, let's see. So I was talking about energy levels. Okay, in terms of some of the other things, and this is sort of the review of the last video, kind of a critique. When I was doing the image chain, or actually the focus speak rather, because I was struggling with coming up with things to say in the moment spontaneously, it's not easy to improvise like that. I basically was shifting my eyes left and right, and I think that for me this was very distracting. I didn't know that I did that. And this is kind of similar to what I was speaking about. I think I touched upon the fact that upon watching watching a lot of review or watching a lot of tape of my own practice sessions, I have difficulty controlling my brow. And when I am anxious, I will speak like this. And I think that, it's, for me at least, when I watch that back, I don't like that, and I think it's much better to kind of have a neutral position for my brow, and on occasion, I can kind of to punctuate certain things, naturally. I will raise my brow, or I'll kind of furrow it or scrunch it up when I'm speaking of something that involves more intensive thought, or something like that, just to be more natural with my brow instead of unconsciously doing this. So that's another aspect that I was reminded of, and I'm still working on. All of these things. Again, as I mentioned before, I consider myself a beginner, and I'm just bringing you on this journey, and I've come up with this technique, and I'm really eager to share it with you because it has been helping me. Let's see. So we have looked at a couple things in the past video, and just to recap with a little bit more detail, we have in this case the image chain, and that was basically free associating 5 topics, and I kind of went through some of the details and some of the things that come up. We want to try to make those, or we have to, not have to, but we're trying to create variety in our image chain. But that's not a priority. I think you just do whatever feels easy and natural for you. So that's image chain, and the focus speak was taking one of those, or is taking one of those topics, and basically just expanding on it, talking about it for 5 minutes. I think what happens is, as I mentioned before, and I'm kind of taking an aside right here, but when you're in the moment, image chain is actually a little more kind of loose and basically less anxiety causing or stress causing. The second step, focus speak, can create more tension and anxiety, and the secret is simply just to breathe through it and to speak through it. So you can say, oh, I'm having trouble. Let's see. What am I going to say next? Well, I just ended on talking about how toll booths made me feel as a child, driving through the toll booths with my family, kind of having this anxiety about not having enough money to pay the toll. And so that's what I was talking about. And how am I going to expand from there, or where am I going to go in terms of what's my first thought after talking about this experience with my family? So I'm just speaking through it, and I think that can really help you. It's not just buying yourself time, but you're sort of letting the juices kind of flow, and you're kind of mixing the stew, and hopefully you'll be able to see that new ingredient kind of pop up from the stew, and then you can kind of run with it. So it can be a difficult kind of process, but again, just relax, talk through it, breathe into it, and go with your first thought. And as I mentioned before, you're basically just kind of chaining or linking together first thoughts, and that's a really good way of approaching it. And don't second guess yourself in the middle of having that first thought. You tell yourself, oh, maybe I'm not going to go with that one. Let's see what else comes up. Try not to do that. Just go with it. And if you can't really speak to it very well, that's perfectly fine. Just say it. Like, oh, you know what, this one, this avenue that I'm going down isn't really very good. So let's see what else I can do. So you just speak through it. And that's probably it's something that I think everyone can do, and it's accessible for most of us. So today we're going to be doing story time, and basically you take all 5 image chain topics and you link them together chronologically, and we all wrote them down in order. Right, so I have them right here. I wrote them down, and you should write them down here. We have pool or swimming pool, chain link fence, outdoor concert, running track, and toll booth. So right here we have our 5, and these are the 5 these are in chronological order as I thought of them in the moment. And so we're going to take those and then again create a story from them, and it can be anything. Use your imagination, have fun. You can do something fictional, non-fictional. You can do something totally fantastic and surreal. I have a tendency toward leaning toward surreal stories, kind of wacky stories, that are fantastic. And for me, that's just kind of what I'm naturally drawn toward. Recently, I've been moving toward trying to do more non-fictional type stories because I feel like that challenges me more. Sometimes if you're approaching it in a surreal, kind of fantastic way, it becomes a little bit easier in terms of linking two very different topics. You can just kind of layer them right on top of each other and then come up with something. It doesn't have to be, I was going to say come up with something interesting, but it doesn't have to be interesting. It can just be, again, the first thought and something very mundane, and that's perfectly fine. Sometimes the most mundane parts of a story are the most interesting. Mundane meaning, just everyday. Doesn't have to be like an action-packed story or like, intrigue and mystery and suspense or anything like that. It's just, it could be a very a neutral kind of middle of the line feeling. But again, I think all of us will come up with different stories, and if you took the same 5 topics and talked about them or created stories from them every single day for a month, I think every single story would be different. But here we have, I think that's about it. When you come to, I think I have in my notes here, I wrote, when you blank out or when you have mental block. We discussed that previously with the focus speak and how I was struggling with it. And instead of speaking through it, I kind of shifted my eyes back and forth and did a lot of stalling, filler sounds like So again, just be very open and verbal about everything that's happening. I think that is a really great way of kind of getting yourself out of these challenging moments. So let's go ahead. It's already 12 minutes in, and I haven't even actually got to the story. So I'm just looking at my notes one more time, make sure I've covered everything. So let's go ahead and take a deep breath and kind of clear out your head. You're creating a blank canvas. Take a couple deep breaths and just go right into it. So one day, let's see, I'm trying to think of an animal walking by a abandoned pool. Well, let's not make it an animal. Let's just say a skateboard lies at the bottom of an abandoned pool with the water mark or the water line showing, and green algae on the walls, and skateboard wheel marks, the black skateboard wheel marks kind of scuffed up all around the bowl of the swimming pool. There's a little tiny puddle of water in the middle, and around the pool itself is a chain link fence. Surrounding that fence are chunks of concrete, dirt, weeds, and as we pull back from this scene, the hotel or the motel becomes visible, and we see how it's an abandoned motel surrounded by weeds and broken up concrete from the sidewalks, and the abandoned pool with the chain link fence around it, the skateboard in the middle of the pool. And this kind of scene brings back memories of this site, of this place, and the richness and aliveness that was here not long ago, as recent as 5 years ago. This place was chock full of people, and the pool was brand new, crystal clear water, with folks frolicking around in the pool, young people in their swimming outfits running around and sunbathing. A concert an outdoor concert happening, a rock concert on a little stage just in the parking lot of the motel. Blue skies, birds chirping, and this was again just 5 years ago when the pool was when the motel was brand new and the pool was brand new, and it was a real destination for many people. So the concert is going on, and as we have this flashback, there's a man running on a track, and we don't know exactly where this track is located, but we kind of do a what do you call that edit where it's just like a cut, there's no fancy editing, it's just the scene shifts very abruptly, but not in a it's abrupt, but not in a way that is distracting or that's creating a negative feeling. I don't know how to say that in a better way, but it's a quick edit, but a natural kind of feel to it, a natural feel to it. I'm struggling a little bit with this one. Remember, I'm making this up in the moment, as you will be, so you're going to come across moments like this. And so we have then this man running on this track. It's like a standard running track with the lines, like you see at the Olympics. And so he's running, and he's kind of remembering a concert that he witnessed, that he accidentally came upon as he was walking down the street one day about 5 years ago. He saw this rock band playing in this parking lot with all these young people dancing and enjoying foods from food vendor trucks and drinking, and then he just kind of stopped and enjoyed the music for a bit. They were dancing, and then he kind of peeked around a corner and saw more people at the pool enjoying themselves. And it's funny because he's running, he's 5 years older, and he's wondering why. He's like, oh, I wonder, this thought came back to me, and there must be a reason. When he ran, his mind would race, and he would remember a lot of different things and think about a lot of things, just as we all do when we're doing these kind of mechanical autopilot type of activities. So he continues running, and he continues reminiscing about that day, that afternoon, and trying to remember what song was playing. He gets kind of let me just say, he finishes his run, and everything is a routine, for him. He's been running for many years, and he just grabs his towel and car keys and goes back to his car. And today he did change up the routine a little bit and chose to run at a track that he used to run when he was in high school. Just about, when was it? 3 years ago, he moved back to his hometown because he found a job there, and he wanted to be close to his mom and dad, who were still living at his childhood home. And so he lived just a little bit outside of, he didn't move back to his hometown, but he lived a little bit outside of his hometown. And so he was close enough that he could visit his parents regularly. And today he chose to drive in to his hometown. He had to cross a bridge, and he wanted to run at his old high school track. His parents weren't there. His parents weren't at home, so he just had this urge. What is the right word? He had this impulse to do this. So he came, did his run, and then he went back. And on his way back, the toll booths, the bridge toll booths, were kind of backed up a little bit, and he was not sure why. usually it's not like this at the early afternoon hour that he was driving back home. And so he came to the toll booth attendant, and he gave his $3. And then he realized that the traffic was backed up because there was a concert. And he listened to the music, and it was just the off ramp was a little busier because people were heading toward that area, and it looked like some kind of festival or something like that. And he had no memory of it driving in. It's like almost like it popped up magically or something. And because he only ran for about 45 minutes to an hour, and so he's headed back, and all of a sudden there's all this activity. And so as the traffic starts lightening up a little bit, he begins driving a little faster down the freeway back home, and he kind of glances over to his right side, and he saw this big group of young people and a large swimming pool. And it was just for like maybe 2 or 3 seconds he caught this glance of this scene, and he saw the rock band, and then they were playing the same song from when he walked by that motel 5 years ago, which is now abandoned, wherever it may be, whatever location it is at, or wherever it is. It's an abandoned motel now, with the memory of that happy and joyous event taking place 5 years ago, now to be remade and to be recreated. I don't know. There's a better word here, but it's happening again. The event is repeating itself, or time is repeating itself. I don't know. There's a better way of saying this, but it's happening again. It's deja vu, and the man is driving, and he just can't believe his ears and his eyes. Seeing this event reemerge in his life, so similar to how it happened 5 years ago. So I think that's about it. That's kind of a good ending. And, you don't even have to end it. You don't even have to close the loop of the story. You can let it kind of just float. You can let the ending just kind of disappear, or I don't know what the right word is, float away. And I think that's perfectly fine, as long as you include all 5 of your topics here. So we again had swimming pool, and the chain link fence, outdoor concert, running track, and toll booth. And I tried in this story to be a little bit more, I guess, non-fictional in nature, but there were some elements of I guess fantasy or surrealism. I'm not sure. Anyway, that is story time, and we put all of those elements together. I would try to keep it short. I have a tendency to, because of the way that I speak, I'm sort of long-winded and a little bit. It's not just being long-winded, but this is not an easy exercise. For me, it's not an easy exercise for me. I really have to push myself to kind of create some kind of an interesting story. And basically, I think you may feel similarly, but do it in your own way, and do it in a way that's comfortable for you. Don't worry about creating something interesting, or again, like I said before, creating some kind of closure to your story. Just go ahead and have fun with it. The most important thing is that you're recording yourself, and I did mention that before. We are recording ourselves for the first 4 steps of this method. It's very important. We are going to review all 4 steps in the 5th step, and that we will go over in the next video, which is video 3. And I think I have here my notes, and again, I'm a big proponent of notes. Physical notes. I always use them, and they're right here, by the way. They just I don't want to go into that because I already mentioned that in the previous video, but I'm just looking at them right now. And basically, to wrap things up, we are focusing on, in the next 2 steps, or in this step and the next step, which is story stretch. The next step is story stretch. That's step 4. This is step 3, story time. We're focusing on story drills, and basically it's to help us stop overthinking, to learn to be in the moment, to embrace it, to have fun, to think on your feet, to improvise, to be spontaneous, and to show your personality and your creativity. Your true voice comes out, I think, more readily when we are in the moment like that, and we're kind of not forced to improvise and be spontaneous, but that's just sort of the format, and we're working within that format. It's really helped me and made me feel more natural on camera. So I'm very confident that it'll do the same for you. I probably mentioned this already, but I'm in the moment now, and it's hard for me to remember everything that I'm saying. But this is the second video in a 3-video series, and the next video is going to cover the last 2 steps. So I'm really looking forward to going over and creating video number 3 for you guys. Please comment if you like what you're seeing, if you would like any other information to be covered related to this video or the previous one. Please include that also. Anyway, I had a really good time, and I look forward to experiencing video number 3 with you guys. So take care until then.